Google gets to a price around 15 times earnings, which for a business of this quality is an extremely, extremely low price. And our view on Google, one way to think about it, when a business becomes a verb, that's usually a pretty good sign about the moat around the business. So, you open your computer and you open your search, and very high percentage of the world starts with a Google, page in a one line. When you type in your search, the Google advertising search YouTube franchise is one of the most dominant franchises in the world. Very difficult to disrupt. Extremely profitable. The world is moving from offline advertising to online advertising, and that trend, I think, continues. Why? Because you can actually see whether your ads work. They used to say about advertising, you spend a fortune and you just don't know which 50% of it works, but you just sort of spend the money because ultimately that's going to bring in the customer. And now with online advertising, you can see with granularity which dollars I'm spending. When people click on the search term and end up buying something and I pay, it's a very high return on investment for the advertiser, and they really dominate that business. Now, AI, of course, is a risk. If all of a sudden people start searching or asking questions of ChatGPT and don't start with the Google search bar, that's a risk to the company. And so our view, based on work we had done and talked to industry experts, is that Google, if anything, had a by virtue of the investment they've made, the time, the energy that people put into it, we felt their AI capabilities were, if anything, potentially greater than Microsoft ChatGPT, and that the market had overreacted. And because Google, is a big company, global business, regulators scrutinize it incredibly carefully. They couldn't take some of the same liberties a startup like OpenAI did in releasing a product. And I think Google took a more cautious approach in releasing an early version of Bard in terms of its capabilities. And that led the world to believe that they were behind. And we ultimately concluded, if any, they're tied or ahead, and you're paying nothing for that potential business. And they also have huge advantages by virtue. You think of all the data Google has, like the search data, all the various applications, email and otherwise, and the kind of the Google suite of products. It's an incredible data set. So they have more training data than pretty much any company in the world. They have incredible engineers. They have enormous financial resources. So that was kind of the bet. And we still think it's probably the cheapest of the big 7 companies in terms of the price you're paying for the business relative to its current earnings.